Now, we're all here tonight because fundamentally, Britain is broken. Everywhere you go, whether it's education, the NHS, our defence, nothing works in this country anymore. And we have a man in number 10. His name's Keir Starmer. I don't think he's very popular. He is doing an awful job. Is he doing a good job? No. Is he not? Honestly, I don't believe you. I think he's doing a great job. He's ensuring that he's putting his country at the front of the queue. He's ensuring that it gets tens of billions of pounds of investment. The problem is that country is Mauritius and not us. He is shafting us everywhere he goes. And that's why, when you look at the polls, even the poll released this morning by The Sun, we are now at 30% in parts of the north of England. I think that's marvellous, don't you? We're hitting 30%. It's fantastic. And I think it gives us a fantastic chance at Runcorn. My prediction is, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to win the Runcorn by-election. I think Sarah Pochen will be a fantastic parliamentarian, and I wish her the very best of luck, as I'm sure you do too. Because by George, don't we need to get rid of this Labour lot? I mean, their attack on our farmers to ensure that we get £500 million into the Treasury when we spend £500 million a year on housing foreign criminals in our prisons. It's a sham, it's a disgrace, and I promise you, when we win the general election, we will get rid of these foreign criminals and put our farmers first. End of. End of. They're gone. And the attack on our pensioners by this god-awful Labour government, it shows you that Labour are totally unfit to rule. That's why they are so scared of us. That's why 30 people a day are now being put in prison and being charged for mean tweets on Twitter, for rude comments on Facebook. I'm going to say it how it is. Starmer is a dictator. He is an Orwellian nightmare, and he has got to go. Simple as. Got to get rid of him. Got to get rid of him. The good news is there's plenty of talent on the front bench. I mean, we've got David Lammy. Don't laugh too much. Let me tell you, any man who can spend £7,000 of biscuits in one meeting, I think that's quite a clever chap. Of course, we've got Jonathan Reynolds. I come from a legal background. He's the only man I've never known to ever become a solicitor without taking the exams. I think that's quite clever. I think that's quite brilliant, actually. Maybe I should have taken the SQE rather than the bar. And then, of course, we've got Rachel from Accounts, who is a fantastic Chancellor. Of course, we know she's not from Accounts. She's from Complaints. This lot, let me tell you, I think this is the worst type of politicians this country has ever had. They are charlatans. They are corrupt. They have absolutely no idea about the real issues. No member in the cabinet has ever run their own business. They are totally devoid from the real issues going out from, it's the elite, which they are all. I'll tell you something, when we win the general election, Labour will have the smallest amount of seats possible, and we will make Britain great again. We will save it. We're going to save it. Now, of course, we can talk about Labour and how god-awful they are. And if we were, we would be here all night, I think. I mean, poor Alex has to deal with Sadiq. I mean, goodness me, give him a medal or few. Crikey caramba. But let's not forget the mob, those charlatans who put them there in the first place. Let's say it how it is. Labour did not win the general election through love. They won the general election through loathing, because ordinary working people had had enough of the Tories, and in 14 years, all they did was destroy and make Britain broken. Our national debt doubled under the Tories. We found out today that in the tenure of the Conservative Party, 7 million people who were not born here have now got GP spaces on our NHS. The reason you can't get a doctor is because we've got 7 million more people in this country. And in the last 2 years, 2.5 million people have come to our country, of which last year only 22% actually got a job. I mean, the Tories, they said in 2015, 2017, 2019, and in 2024, they promised to cut immigration to tens of thousands. Our population is exploding at the most incredible rate, and we must never forgive the Tories to what they've done to this country. Never again. Never, ever, ever do we forgive them. And of course, the boats at Dover. I mean, the fact that Starmer said he was going to stop the boats, in this year alone, 8,000 people have broken into this country. But the Tories, they had the chance. They had the chance to stop this madness. We could have left the ECHR. We could have put the British people first. We could have ensured that actually, if you want to come to this country and contribute, you'll be put at the front of the queue behind the British people. But these people come into this country now, they get free dental care, free health care, they get an iPhone, a nice hotel for them to stay in. And what's even really quite worrying is that these 1.5 million houses which Rayner is proposing to build, a few weeks ago, it was quietly announced that asylum seekers will be granted access and availability to these homes. This Labour lot, they're getting away with blue murder because the Tories started chain reaction off. They were the ones who started net zero, which will bankrupt this country beyond belief. Everything we have in this country today is from the Tories. That's why we are not here to take part. We are here to take over, and we will replace Tories. Do you agree? Yeah. We are going to replace them. Get rid of every single last damn one. And now, I don't know about yourselves, I never ever thought I would get into politics. I know I look more like a belly dancer, but I was a ballroom dancer for 20... Harrison, don't laugh too much, my friend, don't laugh too much. For 20 years, I was a ballroom dancer. And I got into politics because in 2021, I got a very rare heart condition from the COVID-19 vaccine. For 2.5 years, I spent my life in and out of hospital like a yo-yo, totally devoid and from help. The government ignored what was going on to me and some small others. And I got the vaccine because the government was telling us it was the right direction to go. But I had no support from the Tories. I lobbied my own MP at the time, Helen Waitley. I spoke with government officials. They didn't help me at all. And I got into politics because in my opinion, in that period of time, we lost our free speech. We lost our ability to have our own liberties. They was taken away. Everything that's near and dear. The reason my grandparents, and I'm sure your family relatives too, fought in the First and Second World War was to defend our rights. In those years, in those lockdown years, the Tories completely eroded our freedoms. I got into politics to ensure that never again are our rights and liberties ever taken away. That's why I joined Reform. That's why I'm backing Nigel. That is why I am going to play my part to ensure we win the election. And I hope you do too. And we look at the state of our country now, it is dire. But hope is on the way. We look at the local elections in a few weeks' time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to win councils up and down this country. We're going to win mayoralties. We're going to win hundreds of councillors. Change is coming. Please don't give up the hope or the motivation. This is just the very beginning. This is the first step for us to play our part to get Nigel Farage into number 10. You watch. The Labour vote will completely fall apart, particularly in the North and the Midlands. And if you take us like in Kent, the Conservative vote will collapse. I don't know about yourselves, but in Kent, our potholes have tripled in the last 2 years. In the last 5 years, our council tax has gone up 25%. Our debt in our council under the Tories has risen to £740 million, which is an interest rate of 54,000 every single day. And what's worse is that recently it was discovered that we were paying over £20,000 a year for asylum seekers to have free driving lessons. This is the Conservative Party. This is the Conservative Party we live in today. You have a real opportunity. I know a lot of people rubbish reformist chances in Surrey. I disagree. I think that moderate, working, tax-paying, law-abiding citizens who will get behind us, the silent majority, I think we can win here in Surrey. I think the Lib Dems, yes, they are a strong threat. But look at Monica Harding, who, her record is appalling. I was looking at it earlier. She has around 100 appearances in the Commons. Everything she's talking about, whether it's Gaza or anything else, nothing local. She's not standing up for you, the ordinary people in your local area. She may have won with 52% next time. I don't think she's got a Scooby-Doo chance of winning the next time round. But if you all come together And if you support Moira and Harrison and the team, if you galvanise, go out leafleting, canvassing, campaigning, if you play your part, we can get rid of the Lib Dems. If you play your part, we can get rid of the Tories. And if you play your part, we can get rid of that dictator in number 10. Is that what you want? Yeah. Absolutely right. Because, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll say it how quite frankly, this is beyond now the battle for number 10. This is now the battle for Britain. This is about our culture, our community, our history, our heritage, our traditions, our values, our self-identity as a nation. Everything that we care about is on the line. These will be the four pivotal, most important years in British political history. We have 4 years, in my opinion, to save this country. We can end the woke madness, which is indoctrinating our children. We can actually reform the NHS to ensure that it works for us, that actually it is an efficient system. We can have a police force that doesn't adhere to two-tier sentencing or policing, a police force that actually deals with crimes and ensures that bobbies on the beat deal with the real issues. We're going to cut a civil service which is absolutely diluting our way of life, and we are going to get rid of the BBC licence fee. How about that? How about that? I thought that would be popular, but we can revolutionise this country. We can rejuvenate it. We can reform Britain. We can make it great again. But we can't do it without your support. So from this meeting, please go out, speak to your families and friends, encourage people to become members. When you get emails about going out and leafleting, please play your part. If we come together, the silent majority, if we really become a force to be reckoned with, I believe that we can actually save this great nation. We can put the great back into Great Britain, and together we can have a political moment which happens once every 100 years where we change the course of history, not only for ourselves, but for our children and our grandchildren, and for future generations of Britain who deserve a better way of life. So I'll ask you, will you play your part to ensure that Moira Gill and Harrison Ormond-Varty become future members of Parliament? Yeah. Are you going to ensure that when you do have your elections, will you play your part to ensure we have a full roster of candidates and we take the fight to the Lib Dems? Yeah. And are you going to play your part to ensure that we put the greatest Britain since Winston Churchill in Nigel Farage? Are you going to play your part to make him our next Prime Minister? Yeah. Well, keep up the motivation and the morale and the hard work. Upwards for reform and onwards to victory. Thank you very much.